request the faculty members to instruct the students to be seated as the function is about to start. I request all the graduates to wear your gowns and please be seated. doctorates, our Managing Director, Dr. N. Murray Wilson, our Chief Guest, Mr. Krishnan Ananda Narayanan, Chief Finance Officer, Vice President, Managing Atos Global Delivery Centers, our Trustee, Dr. N. Murray Claude, Jeppiaar Remibai Educational Trust, our Reverend Father Michael A.D., Youth Director, Chengalpet Diocese, Advisor of Jeppiaar Institute of Technology, our Principal, Dr. L.M. Merling Livingston, for this 5th graduation for the Class 2020 ceremony. Kindly remain standing till the dignitaries reach the dais. Kindly remain standing as the dignitaries are reaching. We would like to welcome the procession, followed by the faculty members, doctorates, our Managing Director, Dr. N. Murray Wilson, our Chief Guest, Mr. Krishnan Ananda Narayanan, Chief Finance Officer, Vice President, Managing Atos Global Delivery Centers, our Trustee, Dr. N. Murray Claude, Jeppiaar Remibai Educational Trust, our Reverend Father Michael A.D., Youth Director, Chengalpet Diocese, Advisor of Jeppiaar Institute of Technology, our Principal Ma'am, Dr. L.M. Merling Livingston, for this 5th graduation for the Class 2020 ceremony. Kindly remain standing till the dignitaries reach the dais. Kindly remain standing for the Tamil Thai Valthu. Now I request our Principal Ma'am, Dr. L.M. Merling Livingston, to start the 5th graduation ceremony. Please, ma'am.
The 5th graduation ceremony for the class 2016-2020 begins.
Thank you, ma'am. I request the graduates to maintain silence as this is a professional. Good evening to one and all present here. I would like to welcome our Managing Director, Dr. N. Murray Wilson, our Chief Guest, Mr. Krishnan Ananda Narayanan, Chief Finance Officer, Vice President, Managing Atos Global Delivery Center, our Trustee, Dr. N. Murray Claude, Jeppiaar Remibai Educational Trust, Reverend Father Michael A.D., Youth Director, Chengalpet Diocese, Advisor of Jeppiaar Institute of Technology, our Principal Ma'am, Dr. L.M. Merling Livingston, our young graduates and our ever-supportive parents for this ceremony. Graduation Day is a day of culmination of relentless efforts. Graduation is a time to imagine your future and the world to come. When you think of the road ahead, you may gain perspective by looking back, to where you've been. Jeppiaar Institute of Technology always believes in self-belief, self-discipline, self-respect. We aspire to provide futuristic technologies with the perspective of innovative, industrial, and social application for the betterment of humanity. We motivate students to excel in all fields. Students who excel in academics and extracurricular and co-curricular are being recognized and felicitated with a cash prize and memento. We welcome you all once again for this grand day. Now may I request our Principal Ma'am, Dr. L.M. Merling Livingston, to give the welcome address. Please, ma'am.
A warm good evening to everyone. Respected dignitaries on the dais, faculty members, parents, and graduates, greetings to you all. Today is an auspicious and remarkable day. It gives me an immense pleasure to welcome you all for the 5th graduation ceremony of Jeppiaar Institute of Technology for the class 2016-2020. Graduation day is one of the milestones in the life of students. Graduation is an exciting time, warm memories of the past, and big dreams for the future. I welcome Dr. N. Mary Wilson, Managing Director of Jeppiaar Institute of Technology. His vision, focus, ideas, dedication, and determination provides quality education and creates eminent professionals. Welcome you, sir. I welcome the chief guest for the day, Mr. Krishnan Ananda Narayanan, Vice President, Chief Finance Officer, ATAS Global Delivery Centers. We are very happy and honored with your esteemed presence, and definitely the students would be benefited by your words of wisdom. Welcome you, sir. I welcome Dr. N. Mary Claude, Trustee of Jeppiaar Educational Trust, who always gives us direction for the growth of the college. Welcome you, sir. I welcome Reverend Father Michael, Academic Advisor of Jeppiaar Institute of Technology, whose prayers and guidance in every step of the effort of our college leads to success. Welcome you, Father. I welcome all the head of the departments, teaching and non-teaching staff for their support to make this milestone for graduates. I welcome all the parents for their sacrifice and cooperation to give these graduates to the society. I would like to share the happy news that the overall graduation percentage of the class 2016-2020 is 99. Achievements accomplished by the students of 2016-2020. Ms. B. Badamida of Electronics and Communication Engineering Department secured 3rd rank from the Anna University for your excellence in education. In regards to career settlement, we are very happy that our institute has been successful in achieving around 90% placements for the eligible students. 200 plus company opportunities have been provided to the students community, out of which 60 plus companies are product based, 140 plus companies are service based, 40 are from core domain, and 6 from HR domain companies. Adding to it, students are placed in multinational companies that includes Day One Hirers as well, Wipro, L&T Infotech, TCS, ATAS, Infosys, IBM, Coding Mart, Covium, Freshworks, Samsung, Renault Nissan, and so on. 15 students were sponsored by the management to do 1 week internship at Singapore. Deepak Raj, Karthikeyan, Sundara Pandian, and Venkata Krishnan of Mechanical Engineering, and Miss Bitty Beflin Raj, Miss Preeta K, Miss Siva Kirtana have received fund from Tamil Nadu State Council for Science and Technology under Student Project Scheme 2019-2020. Chaudhry Varun Mukesh Kumar, Vignesh S, Daniel Richards, and Wasim Akram of Mechanical Department, and Mr. Muhammad Riyaz of Information Technology Department represented Jeppiaar Institute of Technology basketball team in more than 20 university and national tournaments and won prizes which includes Anna University ties, TM Trophy, Betram Tournament, PSG Tournament, SSN Trophy, etc. P. Dinesh of Mechanical Engineering got the Outstanding Performer Award and Certificate of Excellence from Deputy Director General Vijesh K. Kaj, VSM, NCC Directorate, Tamil Nadu. Mr. Vignesh B. of Information Technology, Mr. A.R. Ramanathan of Electronics and Communication Engineering, Mr. Vignesh of Computer Science and Engineering spent most of their time in learning new technologies and implemented plenty of projects in robotic process automation, which helps them to get placed in Atta Sindal. Ms. Gayatri, Ms. Deepa, Ms. Taruni, Ms. Radhika, Ms. Sangeeta of Electrical and Electronics Engineering, and Ms. Ilakya of Information Technology Department were the backbone of Jeppiaar Institute of Technology girls basketball team and won many prizes in university and national levels. Mr. Tilak Tejesh, Mr. Subhash Chandur, Mr. Manigandan of Information Technology actively participated in NCC and received B and C certificates. Ms. Betty Beflin Raj of Electronics and Communication Engineering Department received the Best Student Volunteer Award from IEEE Madras section. IEEE Hack funded project Mechanical Ventilator for COVID-19 of $500 was completed by Mr. A.R. Ramanathan of Electronics and Communication Engineering Department. This batch students volunteered themselves in social activities like helping the needy and started the scheme JAT Save Box. We are very happy to announce the achievements of Jeppiaar Institute of Technology in 2020-2021 academic year. ARIA, Atal Ranking of Institutions on Innovation Achievements 2020. Jeppiaar Institute of Technology has secured All India rank 6th to 25th Band A position in Atal Ranking of Institutions on Innovation Achievements, the initiative of Ministry of Human Resource Development, Confederation of Indian Industry CAA Award 2020, All India Council for Technical Education AICTE, New Delhi in association with Confederation of Indian Industry, rated Jeppiaar Institute of Technology under nationwide 814 institutions shortlisted for award categories out of 4180 institutes that includes government and private institutes, deemed universities, autonomous and affiliated university. Our institute got Gold Rating Award. Times Engineering Institute Rankings 2021. 97th position out of all private engineering colleges in India. India Today rankings, our institution has been ranked in top 200 institutions in India, including deemed universities, 40th rank in Tamil Nadu, 13th rank in Chennai, 2nd rank in Kanchipuram. Smart India Hackathon 2020. Our students won the first prize in the world biggest Open Innovation and Model Smart India Hackathon 2020 with 1 lakh cash prize. Outlook Magazine iCare Rating 2021. We have secured 125th position in the India's top private engineering colleges, received Best IEEE Student Branch Award, Best Student Volunteer Award from IEEE Madras section, and Best IETE ISF Award for the year 2020 from IETE headquarters. Satellite launch. Dr. Kalpana Chawla, Nano Satellite Research Lab, Satellite Ground Control Station was established and inaugurated virtually by Dr. K. Sivan, Chairman of ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization. Unity Sat JIT Sat was launched into space from ISRO, Sriharikota using PSLV C-51 on 28 February 2021 and placed successfully in the prescribed orbit at an altitude of 570 km, successfully receiving telemetry data from the Unity Sat, JIT Sat and data from open access satellites. Introduction of new program, new course. Based on the upcoming trends in technology, new emerging course, BTech Artificial Intelligence and Data Science has been introduced for the academic year 2021-2022. To add new feather to Jeppiaar Institute of Technology camp, new postgraduate program, Master of Business Administration has been introduced. Dear graduates, Jeppiaar Institute of Technology has laid the foundation for your career growth. As per the quote said by APJ Abdul Kalam, having a great aim, acquiring knowledge, hard work and perseverance, anything can be achieved. Life is all about how you utilize the choices available. Your choices will determine your destination. May your choices reflect your hopes. May your graduation be the beginning of many more wonderful achievements in life. Good luck for your bright future. Thank you. Once again, I welcome you all.
Thank you, ma'am. May I request our Managing Director, Dr. N. Murray Wilson, to felicitate Mr. Krishnan Ananda Narayanan, Chief Finance Officer, Vice President, Managing ATOS, Global Delivery Centers, with a shawl and a memento. Please, sir. Thank you, sir. Now may I request our Principal Ma'am, Dr. Ella Merling Livingston, to felicitate our Trustee, Dr. N. Murray Claude, Jeppiaar Remibai Educational Trust, with a memento. Please, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Now may I request our Principal Ma'am, Dr. Ella Merling Livingston, to felicitate Reverend Father Michael A.D., Youth Director, Chengalpat Diocese, Advisor of Jeppiaar Institute of Technology, with a memento. Please, ma'am. May I now request our Managing Director, Dr. N. Murray Wilson, to deliver his presidential address. Please, sir.
Marie Varga, respected Chief Guest, Mr. Krishnan Ananda Narayanan, Chief Finance Officer, Vice President, ATOS Global Delivery Centers, Principal Merlin M. Welling Livingston, Trustee of Jeppiaar Remibai Educational Trust, Dr. N. Murray Claude, Governing Council Member, Father Michael, staffs, HODs, parents, friends, and my dear young graduating friends. Very good evening. First, let me congratulate all the graduates here for completing their graduation, class 2020, from Anna University, from Jeppiaar Institute of Technology. So congratulations to all the graduates. சந்தோஷமாக கை தட்டலாம், இதில் தப்பே கிடையாது. Last February 29, I think you remember this date, this same place, you had a farewell. That was a leap year. Nobody would have imagined that after 29th, there will be a lockdown, there will be a pandemic. And here we are, still in pandemic in 21. So things have changed a lot for all of us. People here, parents, students, faculties, stakeholders, everybody, one way or the other, would have got affected with this pandemic. Even this institution also got affected because last 2 years this institution is shut down. We are not able to open. Everything went virtual. Luckily, you are the last batch to have completed 7 semesters inside the campus. Complete engineering, Anna University, graduate. When compared to the current final year, third year and second year and first year, we haven't seen them. Lot of changes, lot of things have changed. My dear friends, learning is a continuous process. You are happy today to get graduated today, all right. But things have changed quick and fast, minute to minute changes, it's happening. Lot of technologies have come in. IoT, machine learning, artificial intelligence, blockchain, AR, VR. Quickly we have to adapt the technology. I think we have the guest here, the chief guest, Mr. Krishnan Ananda Narayanan. He is the right person to address this. 33 years of experience, vast experience man, very vast experience. He worked in Siemens, now is currently in Atos. I have to thank him personally because of his very humble in nature. Not even a phone call, I have invited him. But I have to thank Mr. Sriram. He is a very good friend of mine who is still working in Atos. He has provided a lot of opportunity for the graduates here as an intern. And even for current final years, he has opened up a lot of intern opportunity. He gave us his information that he is willing to participate. And in this pandemic, I'm not sure how many colleges are conducting in-person graduation. So you should really thank him for coming down such a long way and going to give his presidential address. And he's going to honor you with the Anna University certificate. I welcome his Mrs. also. Next, we have to thank a very important person in our lives, parents, பெற்றோர்கள். அவர்கள் இல்லைன்னா நம்ம இன்னைக்கு இல்லவே இல்லை. தயவு செய்து எல்லா ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸும் ஒரு பெரிய அப்ளாட்ஸ் டு த பேரண்ட்ஸ் கொடுங்க. பத்தாது, கேட்கலன்னுவாங்கல்ல, அது மாதிரி 2016 admission appo they were hoping that this day will definitely come. My son, my daughter will get graduated. கண்டிப்பா வாங்குவாங்க, யூனிவர்சிட்டி டாப்பர் ஆவாங்க, ட்ரஸ்ட் அவார்டு ஆவாங்க, எந்த ஹோப்பும் இல்லாமல் பிளேஸ்மெண்ட் ஆவாங்க. ஒரு நம்பிக்கையோடு இங்கே அட்மிஷன் கொடுத்தாங்க. அட்மிஷனுக்கு இங்கே வந்தாங்க. அதோட உடன்படிக்கையில் வந்து ஃபேக்கல்டிஸ், the faculties have to be very thankful. We have to thank our faculties also. Very important people in our life. நான் எப்போதும் சொல்கிறது உண்டு, ஒரு டீம் ஒர்க். This result is of today is of teamwork. Parents, students, faculty and management. இந்த 4 பேர் hand to hand work பண்ணாதான் today we can see any success, and today we are seeing live this success because of the teamwork. Graduates நான் என்ன சொல்கிறதுன்னு தெரியல, ஏன்னா ஆல்ரெடி 1 இயராக நீங்கள் கார்ப்பரேட்டில் இன்ஹவுஸ் ஒர்க் பண்ணிட்டு இருப்பீங்க நம்புகிறேன். ஆனால் இப்போ நான் உங்களுக்கு சின்ன ஒரு குயிக்காக, பிகாஸ் டைம் இஸ் அ கன்ஸ்ட்ரைண்ட், ஐ வாண்ட் டு டெல் யூ தட் 21 இயர்ஸ் 22 இயர்ஸ் இந்த வாழ்க்கை இப்போ பெருசு கிடையாது. இப்போ நீங்கள் வாழ போகிறீங்க பாருங்கள், இன்னொரு 22 வருஷம், அதுதான் ரொம்ப முக்கியமான வருஷம். இப்போ எல்லாம் ஸ்பூன் ஃபீடிங், அப்பா அம்மா கம்ஃபர்ட் ஜோனில் வாழ்ந்துட்டீங்க. இப்போ தான் நீங்கள் சொசைட்டிக்கு போயிருக்கீங்க, கார்ப்பரேட் போயிருக்கீங்க, உங்களுக்குன்னு ஒரு ஃபேமிலி வரப்போகுது. நீங்களும் யூ ஹாவ் டு ப்ரொலாங் யுவர் கெரியர் இன் யுவர் கார்ப்பரேட். ஸோ யூ ஹாவ் டு அப்ஸ்கில், நிறைய சேவிங் பண்ணணும். நீங்கள் இந்த பேண்டமிக்கில் கண்டிப்பாக உங்களுக்கு நிறைய விஷயங்கள் கற்றுக் கொடுத்துருக்குன்னு நம்புகிறேன். நான் நிறைய விஷயங்கள், நிறைய தப்பு பண்ணியிருப்போம், ஆனால் இந்த பேண்டமிக்கில் நிறைய சேவ் பண்ணாமல் போயிருப்போம். மணியாக இருக்கலாம், ஹெல்த்தாக இருக்கலாம், இல்லை ஒரு நல்ல பாண்டிங்காக இருக்கலாம். These things I want you people to really think about it. When you step out of this auditorium, definitely think about it. Life is very short. We have to be compassionate, kind, helping others. அது ரொம்ப முக்கியமான விஷயம். டிகிரி எல்லாம் வாங்கிடலாம். On to my right you see the chancellor, the founder and chancellor. நீங்கள் எந்த யூனிவர்சிட்டியில் அண்டர் கிராஜுவேட் பண்ணுறீங்களோ வாங்குறீங்களோ நீங்கள் டிகிரி, அதே யூனிவர்சிட்டியில் அவர் பிஹெச்டி பண்ணவர். அட் த ஏஜ் ஆஃப் 66 he and his grandson traveled on the same campus, அண்ணா யூனிவர்சிட்டி. எல்லாம் வியந்து பார்த்தாங்க எப்படி பாசிபிலிட்டின்னு. ஏன் 66 இயர்ஸில் வந்து ஃபுல் டைம் பிஹெச்டி, அவர் கிராண்ட்சன் வந்து இன்ஜினியரிங் படிக்கிறாரு, அவர் வந்து பிஹெச்டிக்கு அதே யூனிவர்சிட்டி கேம்பஸில் ரெகுலர் ஸ்டூடெண்ட்டாக போய் டெஸ்கில் உட்காந்து படித்தார். பேஷன், he want to lead by an example. So he led his life always in that way, to show example to others. That is the reason why we have built this enormous infrastructure campus. So don't stop learning. இங்கே நம்மளோட ஸ்டேஜில் நிறைய பேர் இங்கே சீட்டட், lot of people are seated here. Some of the faculties have recently completed the PhD. Dr. Sonia, IT department, Dr. Neelagandan, IT department, Dr. Tandya Prabhu, Dr. Ravi Kumar, mechanical. These people, while you are studying, they are also were teaching the classes. But in spite of that, they made sure that they don't want to drop themselves from their PhD. So they continued. So my dear friends, தயவு செய்து நீங்கள் அண்டர் கிராஜுவேஷன் தான் படிச்சிருக்கீங்க, சில பேர் ஆல்ரெடி MBA ஜாயின் பண்ணியிருப்பீங்க, MS ஜாயின் பண்ணியிருப்பீங்க. ஐ விஷ் யூ ஆல் தி வெரி பெஸ்ட் இன் யுவர் கெரியர், இன் யுவர் லைஃப். இப்போது எண்ட் ஆஃப் த கான்வெகேஷன், தி சீஃப் கெஸ்ட் வில் அட்ரஸ் யூ to make you oath. You have to take oath. He will read the oath, you will take oath. That's for professional ethics. பட் நீங்கள் வந்து ஒரு சொசைட்டிக்குள்ளே இருக்க பார்த்து நிறைய டிஸ்கிரிமினேஷன் பார்க்க ஆரம்பிப்பீங்க. டுடே we are in a hated society where we could see a lot of people showing hate than love. Discrimination, caste, religion, racism, lot of things are happening. இந்த இன்ஸ்டிடியூஷன் வந்து உங்களுக்கு ஹியூமன் வேல்யூஸ் கற்றுக் கொடுத்துருக்கோன்னு நம்புகிறேன். இன்ஜினியரிங் டெக்னிக்கல் டிகிரிலாம் வேறு, அண்ணா யூனிவர்சிட்டி கொடுக்குற டிகிரி. இங்கே NCC, NSS, IEEE, நிறைய செலப்ரேஷன், டிஃப்ரெண்ட் கல்ச்சர் செலப்ரேஷன், பொங்கல், கிறிஸ்மஸ், நிறைய செலப்ரேஷன் would have made you to understand what is the value of humanity. மனிதனை மனிதனாக பார்க்க பண்பு மட்டும் வச்சுங்க நீங்கள் லைஃப்பில். never forget that. Never forget that. Equality. Today girls also engineer today, boys also engineer today. அங்கே ஒரு ஓத்து எடுக்க போகிறீங்க, நான் ஒரு ஓத்து சொல்கிறேன், எடுக்கிறீங்களா? கேர்ள்ஸ் எடுப்பீங்களா? பாய்ஸ் எடுப்பீங்களா? சே நீங்களும் இன்ஜினியர், அவங்களும் இன்ஜினியர். அப்போ சே தட் ஐ வில் நாட் கிவ் டவுரி. I will not take dowry. சொல்லுவீங்களா? டவுரி கொடுப்பீங்களா? இல்லை பதிலே காணோம். கேர்ள்ஸ் ஈக்குவல் தானே? யூ ஆர் ஆல்சோ இன்ஜினியர், பாய்ஸ் ஆல்சோ இன்ஜினியர். ஈக்குவாலிட்டி தானே? Somewhere it has to start. Somewhere it has to start. So I believe that my students will definitely will take that initiative. Next generation நீங்க தான் வாழ போறீங்க. குளோபல் வார்மிங்கை பற்றி நிறைய விஷயங்கள் பேசிகிட்டு இருக்கிறாங்க. Climate changes are happening. You have to take also that into consideration. Next generation நீங்கள் தான், திருப்பி சொல்கிறேன் நான். You are going to live another 40-50 years. So you have to make sure that not only this technical education, not only salary, not only designation, this human values, this climate change, everything you have to take into your life and implement in your life. Definitely, I believe my students will definitely take this. Before I end up my speech, I want to, my good phrase, I always tell my students, when wealth is lost, nothing is lost. When health is lost, something is lost. When character is lost, everything is lost. My dear students, have your character intact. God bless you. Peace to you all. Nandri, vanakkam. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your words of wisdom. Now I request Ms. Sureka, Assistant Professor, Department of EC, to give the chief guest profile. Please, ma'am.
Our chief guest, Mr. Krishnan Ananthanarayanan, is a VP and CFO having over 33 years of experience in ATOS with experience in IT infrastructure and finance. He is a BCom graduate from Loyola, Chennai. He is the CFO for Global Delivery Centers over 8 countries, including India. He has experience spread across multiple geographies and has worked in Siemens Atos in India, Germany, and in Singapore. During his 33 years of career, he has traveled extensively across the world, across 33 countries, implementing the Siemens wide area network. Apart from his work, he loves cricket, listening to music, and taking care of all the infrastructures, includes a small water treatment plant and a solar generator plant in Karapakam. Sir, we welcome you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. I now request our chief guest, Mr. Krishnan Ananthanarayanan, Chief Finance Officer, Vice President, Managing ATOS Global Delivery Center, to deliver his graduation day address. Please, sir.
Thank you. First of all, I would like to congratulate all of you who are graduating today. And as Managing Director already mentioned, also I congratulate all the proud parents and relatives who have come here to see their wards graduating. And I want to thank all of you on the dais for inviting me. So thanks for also a wonderful introduction about myself. So I don't want to speak more about myself. I've been introduced. Why I'm here is to share my experience, what I did after my graduation, and how some of that can give you some hints about how to move on in life. Yeah, there are a few qualities. I think I'll dwell on what the Managing Director already mentioned about manishana paaka kathukanga. I think that's the place where you should start. Every one of us are equal. Everyone has to be given equal opportunity, and given an equal opportunity, all of us can not just survive but thrive in this difficult world. Yeah. So have perseverance as one of your first quality. And how does that reflect on me? I was sharing with the MD and the dignitaries here when I was having coffee with them earlier that I completed my school from Government Higher Secondary School, Nanganallur. I was in the third group, as they used to call it. So that was mathematics, accountancy, commerce, and economics. I was school first, okay, and I had 200 out of 200 in accountancy, and only 20 students that year had in the entire Tamil Nadu secured 200. And my elder brother was already studying in Loyola, Chennai. He was doing his BSc Statistics, completed his second year. And I said, I want to only study in Loyola. I don't want to study in any other college. And the main reason is my elder brother was already studying, and I wanted to study in a college which was autonomous. Yeah. Was my admission easy, you think? How many of you think I got admitted immediately? By a raise of hands, can I see? Nobody believes I got it easy? Yeah, I see one hand there, okay. It took me 10 visits to the college to see the principal at the time, Father Kasmiraj. Every day in the morning I'll go, stand in the queue for more than 2 hours, just to hear from the father one word, Pakala. Nothing more, nothing less, yeah. 9 times it happened. On the 10th occasion when I went, of course I was very glad that the father said, you have been admitted to Loyola College. So it was not easy. And after I entered the college, I realized that barring couple of students who were like, one of them was state 10th rank, one of them was All India CBSE first rank, I had more marks in the 4 subjects than anybody else in the class of 143. So obviously I was not very happy at that time, saying that it is not a fair treatment, but that didn't stop me at all. So what I said, this is a difficult journey to get admitted, and I want to prove myself, because coming from a government school, and most of the other students were coming from Don Bosco and other type of convent schools. So I studied very hard. I put in a lot of hard work, used to study sometimes up to 2 o'clock in the morning, etc. And barring that one gentleman who was All India CBSE first rank, I beat all others and became college second in BCom. Yeah, that's all due to perseverance, hard work, and many of you here, some of you would have completed your graduation with high percentage of marks, good grade point averages, some of you not so. Now for all of you who have completed your graduation with high marks, high grade point average, best of luck. Don't think that this is the end of the achievement. There is much more to achieve. And those of you who haven't got those marks, it is also not the end of life, right? There is so much more that you can do. And from my own experience, I can tell you that many of the students that I graduated with, who did not even have a decent grade point average, but they just passed, they are more successful in life. Of course, it's always a subjective thing what you mean by success, but generally we measure on their status in life, how they are performing financially. They are all in very good shape. So put your heart and soul together and you can work very hard. Second thing, the managing director already mentioned that you've all been spoon-fed. So all of you have had a comfortable life so far, protected by parents. You can go back and complain that this professor or that professor has been very, partial. They didn't give me the marks that I deserve. All those feelings you would have today. If you see or compare this with what you see in the real world, in the corporate world, what you have experienced so far is nothing. So one thing I want to tell you, the world out there is not fair. You are not always going to get a fair treatment. That should not let you down. You need to overcome however you are treated, work hard. It was mentioned that I joined Siemens 33 years ago. I just completed my BCom from Loyola and joined Siemens as a trainee. And I was the first trainee batch after 5 years. So they had a gap of 5 years. And the trainees who completed that 5 years, they had already become managers of people who taught them during their trainee times. Yeah? So when I joined as a trainee, all those managers, all those people who were above me, who were supposed to train, said, if I train you tomorrow, you're going to become my manager, why should I train you? So that was the entry point difficulty that I had. Of course, with lots of hard work, we overcame, and then the same people who didn't want to train, after seeing the efforts that we were putting in, a colleague of mine and I, both of us joined at the same time, they also turned around and taught us a lot. Yeah? So you need to work hard you need to turn around those people who normally do not accept you in the first go. Secondly, I was in Germany. After 7 years in Bombay, I went to Germany. And I went in a department which had nothing to do with finance, because I just did my finance for the first 1 year in Siemens. Then I became an IT guy. And I went to Germany to implement the wide area network of Siemens. So at that time, the gentleman who actually helped me move to Germany, he told me, this is just going to be a difficult job for you, but let's see what you can make out of it, okay? So when I landed there, I had a relatively easy job for the first 3 months, and it was getting to know the country. I was enjoying myself. Next 3 months was difficult, no specific responsibilities for me. Then I went to my boss and said, if I don't get something challenging, I cannot continue, so you need to give me something challenging. And the following day, he gave me 2 projects to choose, and one of them was creating a IP backbone, Internet Protocol backbone, for Siemens on a worldwide basis. Siemens was present in 190 countries in those days. And when I came back and I told my colleague that I've been given this choice and I'm thinking of taking up this IP backbone project, he said, Krishnan, they're setting you up for failure. You can never implement a single network across this company so wide, so be careful in what you're choosing. That did not deter me. I said, no, I still can do it. I picked up that. Of course, it was very difficult. It took more than 5 years for me to complete that project, but I successfully completed that project, and the network was so good that finally it was outsourced to Deutsche Telekom and AT&T. Yeah? So never give up. There will always be people around you who will, some of them will encourage you that you can do everything. Some of you will say, oh, this is going to be very difficult. It's up to you to decide what you want to do. No one else can influence what you are doing. Does it make sense? Have some of you already come across in your life, like choosing whether you want to come engineering, you want to do doctor, you want to do any other profession? Did you already overcome that? I don't see any feedback. Is that what I'm speaking making sense, or it's very boring, one of those afternoon boring classes that you would have had? No? You are able to follow me, right? Okay. So some of the other things that I would like to mention is also embracing change. The managing director already mentioned about COVID and the pandemic situation. How many of us thought last year, beginning of last year, let's say February 2020, that we can even actually work from home, teach from home, learn from home? Can I get a show of hands? How many of you would have thought that you can learn from home? Nobody? That's the reality, right? And at work, we used to have a work from home concept where around 20-30% of the people at any given point in time is working from home, but the rest are always working in the office. And we have huge campus in Siruseri, and we have other locations in India. And we never thought that we can actually work from home full time throughout the year. Did we manage that? Can somebody say, did we manage to do that in the last 14 months? Or even 18 months for that matter? Yes, right? I think I'm going to give a pause now. Unless I hear some feedback, I can't go on. Did we manage to do that for the last 18 months, friends? Okay, yes, we did manage that. And how did we do that? Was the first few days very difficult? Staying at home, not being able to go out, wear masks, do lots of, hygiene stuff. It was not easy, isn't it? Is it difficult today? All of you are wearing masks. Thanks. Sorry that I'm not wearing masks because it's very hot and there is no one around me. So I suppose that's okay. But we have embraced the change, right? And why did you embrace the change? Can anybody tell me what is the difference between 18 months back and today? Oh, no. I want someone to tell me what is the difference between how we started this change 18 months ago and what is it today. I know it's very difficult for you to speak up from there. I can't hear. But 18 months ago when the pandemic started, we did not know for how long this pandemic is going to stay, how it is going to change our lives, isn't it? Do you understand more about the pandemic today? What actually COVID is? What are the things that you should do to prevent that from coming? How many of you here understand about COVID at least and know that you can manage it? Show of hands. So most of us know how to manage it, right? So is this now a difficult change to implement? No. What I'm trying to say is a change which you do not understand, you don't know how to manage, that is always difficult. A change that you understand, you can follow. There's only one constant thing in life, and that constant thing is change. Anything that you do is going to be changing. Few years ago, we didn't even have the possibility to work from home or study from home or teach from home. Today we have the internet technology, we have various means through which you can learn. So that is a change, a positive change. If this change did not happen and if we did not have internet prevalent, particularly in all the places in India, we would not have succeeded. Yeah? So change is something that I would like you to embrace and also follow. Stick to your strengths. Each one of us have a strength, and of course you cannot have everything as strengths, right? Some of us have certain weaknesses, some of us have difficulty in mathematics, some of us may be in science, some of us in languages. But stick to what you are very good at and how you can develop on that. And in my life and my career, one of the strengths that I have is in understanding basics thoroughly. So when I took up commerce, I said accountancy is new to me. I'm going to start learning that from 11th standard. So I said my basics and the foundations have to be good. I studied hard, I learned that very well. And today, even though I did 30 years of IT in the company, I've been the CFO for the last 3 years because my basics and foundation in finance has been very good. Similarly, in IT, whatever I learned with lots of basics knowledge, thorough basic understanding. So while I was today, the students were proudly showing the achievement of launching the satellite, how the satellite sends data back to the station here, how it is being interpreted, etc. As a finance guy, I would not have understood that pretty much, right? But because of the passion I had and to understand basics, I can tell you that most of what the students explained, I was able to understand. So please, whatever you are doing, do it with passion and get your basics right, yeah? So that is another attribute I would strongly recommend. Enjoy what you're doing. Until you enjoy what you're doing, it is not going to yield the results that you or the people who have entrusted you with those jobs would be happy about, yeah? So please take up whatever you're doing with passion, enjoy what you're doing, and also love yourself. If you don't love yourself, you can't love others. And be proud of whatever you're achieving. Be it very, very small thing like able to make up your bed in the morning after you get up. You feel proud about that. Be happy that, okay, I got up, my bed is like as if I've never gotten up yet. I can go back to bed in the night in the same way. That makes you proud and want to have a good day ahead, yeah? So whatever you do, be proud of yourself and respect others as well, as we already mentioned. One more thing, you're in an educational institution, you're just coming out. You've all learned a lot, and I hope you're learning something. If you teach the same thing to other people around you, they will learn from you, and you can correct your mistakes, or you can further learn those things that you probably have missed, okay? Now, in my days, when I was a student, it was not always that easy. Sometimes our parents used to say, if you teach others, they will also get good marks or good grades. So that is not going to help you. It is a competitive world, so don't teach others or don't let them know your knowledge. Unfortunately, that does not work in this information age today. You can only learn more by teaching others, by collaborating with others, by documenting what you developed, the technology for launching the satellite, or I learned how they even do Internet of Things, like measuring the moisture in the air or moisture in the sand, etc. They have to document this so that other people can learn, and I was happy to hit us. Within 48 hours, he got all the 6,000 employees in Atos back to work from home. Managed to deliver the laptops to their house, even the desktops to the home, etc. That's the type of person he is, yeah? I'm not very good at those things. I'm very good what your strengths are. Also know your weaknesses. You don't have to worry about your weaknesses, but you have someone who can help you compensate those weaknesses. Work as a team, collaborate, I have already mentioned, and there is no looking back to your success. And I grew from being a finance trainee 33 years ago. September 88, I joined the company, and I became a vice president after around 27 years. It's a very, very long journey, but I stuck to one company. This is the only company that I worked for, though the name changed from Siemens to Atos because they sold the IT company of Siemens to Atos. I stuck to one company. I made my career, and that's the choice that I took. Many of you may think that, okay, if you jump jobs between one company to the other company, increments is one possibility. But the point I want to finally drive at is be passionate in what you're doing, trust people around you, work with them, learn from each other, treat everyone equal, and you would succeed in your life. Thank you very much for this opportunity, and all the very best to all of you.
Thank you, sir, for your motivational speech. Now I request our trustee, Dr. N. Murray Claude, Jeppiaar MMI Educational Trust, to announce the rank holder and the trust awards. Please, sir.
Good evening. I'm here to announce the prestigious university rank holders cash award of rupees 25,000 and a memento to be awarded to Madhumita, daughter of Mr. D. Bhaskaran and Miss B. Bhuneshwari from the Electronics and Communication Department. She secured a CGPA of 9.26 with a university rank number 3 from the prestigious Anna University. The next cash award of rupees 25,000 and a memento is awarded in the name of award to Miss B. Madhumita, daughter of D. Bhaskaran and Miss B. Bhuneshwari from the Electronics and Communication Department. The next award Dr. M.G. Ramachandran Award is being awarded to Mr. S. and Miss S. Mari Selvi from Mechanical Department. He's been awarded with the memento. The next award is in the name of Dr. Kalpana Chawla Award is awarded to Mr. Vignesh V, son of Mr. Vijay Kumar and Sir C.V. Raman Award is awarded to Miss Lakshmi Subramanian, Mr. A. Subramanian, and Mrs. S. Jayanti from Electronics and Electronic Communication Engineering is awarded with a memento by the Managing Director. Mother Teresa Award is been awarded to Mr. Balakrishnan M., son of
Thank you, students. Now I request our chief guest, Mr. Krishnan Anandanarayanan, Chief Finance Officer, Vice President, Managing ADOS Global Delivery Center, our Managing Director, Dr. N. Murray Wilson, our Trustee, Dr. N. Murray Claude, Jeppiaar MEBI Educational Trust, Reverend Father Michael, AD, Youth Director, Chengalpet Diocese, Advisor of Jeppiaar Institute of Technology, Governing Council Member,
Ms. Abhinaya P., daughter of Mr. Paramasevam P. and Mrs. Bhuneshwari P. Ms. Anupriya E., daughter of Mr. Elumalai Raj and Mrs. Sujata. Mr. Pranav, son of Mr. Sri Kumar and Mr. Prasanna. Mr. Gerald Winfrank, son of Mr. Yasing and Mrs. Jabasilvia. Mr. Sri Rohini, daughter of Mr. Ango and Mrs. Franklin. Miss Nail, daughter of Mr. Sairalahan and Mrs. Jansi. Mr. Balakrishnan S., son of Mr. Sridhar and Mrs. Yamuna. Mr. Jai Ganesh, son of Mr. Venkat and Mrs. Vijaya. Miss Aishwarya, daughter of Mrs. Murali and Mrs. Narsimha Lakshmi. Mr. Bhuvan Natesh, son of Mr. Brahman and Mrs. Lavanya. Miss Priyanka, daughter of Mr. Babu and Mrs. Lata. Mr. Balaji, son of Mr. Pandurangan and Mrs. Amuda. Mrs. Divya Lakshmi, daughter of Mr. Anbalahan and Mrs. Vijay Lakshmi. Mrs. Nagarani, daughter of Mr. Gopalakrishnan and Mrs. Idaya Raveni. Miss Kausalya, daughter of Mr. Murugan and Mrs. Chitra. Miss Priyanka, daughter of Mr. Ravi and Mr. Manjula. Miss Sonia, daughter of Mrs. Muruganandam and Mrs. Suguna. Miss Asha, daughter of Mr. Elumalai and Mrs. Sita. Mr. Arun Kumar, son of Mr. Selvam and Mrs. Valli. Mr. Manish Kumar, son of Mr. Muralidharan and Mr. Kalpana. Miss Lokeshwari, daughter of Mr. Jai Kumar and Mrs. Kalpana. Miss Akshaya, daughter of Mr. Ganeshan and Mrs. Purnachiyar. Mr. Lokesh, son of Lakshmanan and Mrs. Kasturi. Mr. Arun Kumar, son of Mr. Prem Kumar and Mrs. Vijay Lakshmi. Mr. Alan Rolal, son of Mr. Christian and Mr. Mercy. Mr. Praveen Raju, son of Mr. Perumal and Mrs. Dhanalakshmi. Mr. Praveen Raju, son of Mr. Perumal and Mr. Dhanalakshmi. Mr. Skanimuli, daughter of Mr. Jagannathan and Mrs. Sumati. Ms. Chitralekha, daughter of Mr. Sivakumar and Mr. Nagapurna, Peer Muhammad, son of Mrs. Syed Muhammad and Mrs. Taj Nisa, Mr. Vishnu Ranjan, son of Mr. Ravi Kumar and Mrs. Devasena, Ms. Tirukurali, daughter of Mr. Pari and Mrs. Seventhi, Mr. Hariharan, son of Mr. Murugan and Mrs. Chitra, Ms. Devadarshini, son daughter of Mr. Tanika Chalam and Mrs. Sangeeta, Mrs. Abhirami, daughter of Mr. Bhaskaran and Mrs. Geeta, Mr. Srinivasan, son of Mr. Raja and Mrs. Rajakumari, Mr. Vinod Kumar, son of Mr. Dasarathan and Mrs. Sumati, Mr. Aswati, son of Mr. Ramesh Kumar and Mrs. Suja, Mr. Saravanan, son of Mr. Mariappan and Mrs. Usha, Ms. Srilekha, daughter of Mr. Anbalahan and Mrs. Selvarani, Mr. Nawaz, son of Mr. Jalil and Mr. Mohammed Bhatt, Mr. Kishan Chandra, son of Mr. Gopi Chandran and Mrs. Bharati, Mr. Vijay Krishna, son of Mr. Jayakumar and Mrs. Muthalakshmi, Mr. Mohammed Tahi, son of Mr. Akbar Basha and Mrs. Madina Beham, Mr. Arul Bashin, son of Mr. Arul Das and Mrs. Beulah Pushparani, Ms. Gandham Emini Tejashwani, daughter of Mr. Murali Krishnan and Mrs. Kalpana, Ms. Hemalata, daughter of Mr. Swaminathan and Mrs. Usa, Ms. Preeta Caroline, daughter of Mr. John Frederick and Mrs. Shyamala Masi, Mr. Naveen Kumar, son of Mr. Makesh and Mrs. Kavita. Thank you all. Ronald Arasu, son of Mr. Christian Tamil and Mrs. Mercy John, Mr. Praveen Raju, son of Mr. Perumal and Mrs. Dhanalakshmi, Ms. Kanimoli, daughter of Mr. Sivakumar and Mrs. Nagapushanam, Mr. Peer Mohammed, son of Mr. Syed Muhammad Ali, Mrs. Taj Nisha, Vishnu Ranjan, son of Mr. Ravi Kumar and Mrs. Devasena, Ms. Tirukurali, daughter of Mr. Pari and Mrs. Sevanthi, Mr. Hariharan, son of Mr. Murugan and Mrs. Chitra, Ms. Devadarshini, daughter of Mr. Tanika Chalam and Mrs. Sangeeta, Ms. Abhirami, daughter of Mr. Bhaskaran and Ms. Geeta, Mr. Srinivasan, son of Mr. Raja and Mrs. Rajkumari, Mr. Vinod Kumar, son of Ms. Dasarathan and Mrs. Sumati, Mr. Ashwath, son of Mr. Ramesh Kumar and Mrs. Suja, Mr. Saravanan, son of Mr. Mariappan and Mrs. Usha, Ms. Srilekha, daughter of Mr. Anbalahan and Mrs. Selvarani, Mr. Nawaz, son of Mr. Jalil and Mrs. Mohammed Belj, Mr. Kishan Chandra, son of Mr. Gopi Chandran and Mrs. Bharati, Mr. Vijay Krishna, son of Mr. Jawahar and Mrs. Mutthalakshmi, Mr. Mohammed Tahir, son of Mr. Akbar Basha and Mrs. Madina Beham, Ms. Sri Lekha, daughter of Mr. Anbalahan and Mrs. Selvarani, Mr. Nawaz, son of Mr. Jalil and Mrs. Mohammed Mr. Ashwath, son of Mr. Ramesh Kumar and Mrs. Suja, Mr. Saravanan M, son of Mr. Mariyappan and Mrs. Usha, Mr. Nawaz, son of Mr. Jalil and Mrs. Mohammed, Mr. Kishan Chandra, son of Mr. Gopi Chandran and Mrs. Bharati, Mr. Arul G. Bershin, son of Mr. Arul Dihas Das and Mrs. Beulah Pushparani, Mr. Vijay Krishna, son of Mr. Jawahar and Mrs. Mutthalakshmi, Mr. Mohammed Tahir, son of Mr. Akbar Basha and Mrs. Madina Beham, Ms. Kandamamaneni Tejashwani, daughter of Mr. Murli Krishnan and Mrs. Kalpana, Ms. Hemalata, daughter of Mr. Swaminathan and Mrs. Usha, Ms. Preeta Caroline, daughter of Mr. John Frederick and Mrs. Shamala Mercy. Okay, thank you one and all.
So next will be the Department of Information Technology.
Department of Information Technology, Pavitra V, daughter of Mr. M. Vengadasamy, Mrs. H. Sumati, Swati Priya M, daughter of Mr. R. Marudan, Mrs. M. Sudarshani, Sushmita N.K., daughter of Narasimhan K., Mrs. Kavita N., daughter of Mr. Shankara Subbu, Mrs. Maragadam S. Isaikani, son of Lingaraja R. and Mrs. L. Annalakshmi. Jyoti Lakshmi K., daughter of Mr. C. Krishnamogan, Mrs. Lalita K.,
students who have received your degrees, please be seated. Department of IT, please be seated.
Mahalakshmi R, daughter of Mr. M. Ravindran and Mrs. Kavita P. Nandini Devi T, daughter of Mr. Tanigavel and Mrs. Vijayalakshmi. Nivedini S, daughter of Mr. Selvaraj D, Mrs. Mahalakshmi S. Kaushik. Rohini Priya P, daughter of Mr. R. Palani, Mrs. Valliammal P. Hemalata P, daughter of Mr. A.S. Ponnambalam, Bhanumati P. Monisha K, daughter of Mr. T. Kannan, Mrs. N.L. Punidavalli. Benvento SP, son of Mr. K. San Peter, S. Artis. Rachel J, daughter of Mr. J. John Christopher, Mrs. M. Sandhya Narola. Anuja SV, daughter of Mr. R. Shaktivel, Mrs. S.V. Vanaja. Vignesh V, son of Mr. G. Vijay Kumar, Mrs. V. Anandi. Prem Kumar, son of Mr. K. R. Sivapragasam, Mrs. S. Usharani. Kalayarasan K, son of Mr. J. Kadiravan, Mrs. K. Tamilchelvi. Snega G, daughter of Govinda Chetty, S. Mrs. G. Yamini. Arul Prakash Subramaniam, son of Mr. N. Subramanian, Mrs. S. Manjula. Harini S, daughter of K. Sridhar, Mrs. S. Uma Mageshwari. Abhirami, daughter of K. Kadiresan, Mrs. K. Kavita. Naresh Kumar M, son of Mr. R. Murugan, Mrs. M. Kavita. Jaykant, son of S. M. Chellapan, Mrs. S. Sumati. Sugumar R, son of Mr. T. Ramesh Kumar, Mrs. Vijayalakshmi. Ilakya, daughter of Muralidharan, Mrs. Gauri. Priyanka P, daughter of Mr. J. Pannirselvam, Mrs. P. Gomati. Vignesh R, son of Mr. S. Rajan, Mrs. Prema D. Pavitra R, daughter of Mr. K. R. Ranganathan, Mrs. Jyoti R. Kamali B, daughter of Mr. K. B. Bhuminathan, Mrs. Indra B. Alvin Pratap, son of Mr. M. Anthony, Mrs. A. Arogya Mary. Karthikeyan B, son of Mr. Balachandar, Mrs. Tilagavadi. Kesavan, son of Mr. E. Shankar, Mrs. S. Batmavadi. Gokula M, daughter of Mr. K. Mohanan, Mrs. R. Kavita. Maniyanda Prabhu, son of Mr. M. Bhagavati Krishnan, Mrs. Ganapati B. Magini R, daughter of Mr. A. Rangarajan, Mrs. Satya R. Bhupati S, son of Mr. A. Shekhar, Mrs. O. Kamakshi. Mahalakshmi M.J., daughter of Mr. K.M. Jayaraman, Mrs. M. Kanmani. Muhammad Ayasin K., son of Mr. S. Qadar Moideen, Mrs. Akila Fatima. Bavadarani, daughter of Mr. C. Palraj, Mrs. P. Lalita. Anandraj M., son of Mr. P. Mogan, Mrs. M. Anandi. Subhash Chendur B., son of Mr. S. Ganeshan, Mrs. S. Jayashree. Karthikeyan B., son of Mr. S. Balachandar, Mrs. Tilagavati. Kesavan, son of Mr. E. Shankar, Mrs. S. Batmavati. Gokula M., daughter of Mr. K. Moganan, Mrs. Kavita R. Maniganda Prabhu, son of Mr. M. Bhagavati Krishnan Ganapati. Magini R., daughter of Mr. A. Rangarajan, Mrs. Satya R. Bhupati S., son of Mr. A. Shekhar, Kamakshi O. Mahalakshmi M.J., daughter of Mr. K.M. Jayaraman, Mrs. M. Kanmani. Muhammad Yasin K., son of Mr. S. Qadar Moideen, Mrs. Akila Fatima. Bavadarani, daughter of Mr. C. Palraj, Mrs. P. Lalita. Anandraj M., son of Mr. P. Mogan, Mrs. M. Anandi. Subhash Chendur B., son of Mr. S. Ganeshan, Mrs. S. Jayashree. Stephen John, son of Mr. S. Savarirajan, Jaimin Delsi. R. Tilak, son of Mr. C. Ravichandra, Mrs. S. Kavita. Gopinath N., son of Mr. P. Narayanasamy, Mrs. N. Kumuda. Andrew, son of Mr. P. Subramanian, Mrs. G. N. Kripa. Yuvaraj M., son of Mr. S. Magesh Kumar, Mrs. Vanaja. Stephen John, son of Mr. S. Savarirajan, Jaimin. R. Tilak, son of Mr. C. Ravichandra, Mrs. S. Kavita. Gopinath N., son of Mr. P. Narayanasamy, Mrs. N. Kumuda. Andrew, son of Mr. P. Subramanian, Mrs. G. N. Kripa. Yuvaraj M., son of Mr. G. Magesh Kumar, Mrs. M. Vanaja. Satish Kumar K., son of Mr. S. Kadiravel, Mrs. K. Gomati. Sri Balaji, Muhammad Riyas. Raghavi, daughter of Mr. Ramaya, Mrs. Sashikala. Thank you all.
Next will be the Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering.
Good evening, dignitaries and one and all present here. Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering. Ms. Madhuvita, daughter of Ms. Bhaskaran and Mr. Bhuneshwari. Ms. Priyadarshini, daughter of Mr. Anandakumar and Ms. Rupiram. Ms. T. Nikita, daughter of Mr. R. Thomas and Ms. Sophia. Ms. K. Shweta, daughter of Mr. K. Kribanandan and Ms. K. Tangam. Ms. Hema Priya, daughter of Mr. Tirunavukarasu and Ms. T. Shanti. Ms. S. Swamiya, daughter of Mr. K. Shivakumar and Ms. S. Leelavati. Ms. D. Vaishnavi, daughter of Mr. V. S. Durai and Ms. Arulmozhi Durai. Ms. S. Leena, daughter of Mr. T. Samraj and Ms. C. Vimala. Ms. R. Monisha, daughter of Mr. R. Ramamurthy and Ms. Sasikala.
Graduates, please be seated. Parents, please be seated. The ceremony is not over. Kindly take your photos after the ceremony. Department of CSE IT, please be seated. Parents, please be seated.
பெற்றோர்கள் தயவு செய்து அமருமாறு கேட்டுக்கொள்கிறோம். Graduates, please be seated. I request all the parents to be seated too.
Light kaatupa. Ms. H. Santoshini, daughter of Mr. B. Harikrishnan and Ms. H. Sujata. Ms. M. Meenakshi, daughter of Mr. V. Murali and Ms. M. Geeta. Mr. M. Hemantraj, son of Mr. K. Mohan and Ms. M. Jyoti Lakshmi. Mr. K. Kalayarasan, son of Mr. Kalati N and Ms. K. Bhanumati. Ms. C. Revati, daughter of Mr. R. Chokkalingam and Ms. S. Ishwari. Ms. L. Kirtika, daughter of Mr. R. Elumulai and Ms. D. Rani. Ms. S. Kritika, daughter of Mr. A. Shankar and Ms. S. Hemalata. Ms. X. Priscilla, daughter of Mr. R. Xavier and Ms. T. Bhavani. Ms. K. Revati, daughter of Mr. A. Kannan and Ms. K. Shanti. Ms. S. Gayatri, daughter of Mr. R. Sundarrajan and Ms. S. Selvi.
I request the graduates and the parents to be seated. The ceremony is not over yet. I request the parents to be seated.
Ms. K. Pratipa, daughter of Mr. R. Kalaimani and Ms. K. Bhavani. Ms. P. R. Meghala Devi, daughter of Mr. P. Ravi and Ms. S. Maheshwari. Mr. D. Naveen Kumar, son of T. Dinagaran and Miss D. Shanti, Miss A.G. Shwatik, daughter of Mr. N. Gopal and Miss G. Suguna, Miss K. Malati, daughter of Mr. C. Karunanidhi and Miss K. Kanagavalli, Miss R. Pavitra, daughter of Mr. E. Ravi and Miss R. Priya, Miss D. Priyanka, daughter of Mr. A. Duraimuturaj and Miss D. Kavita, Miss Anukartika K.S., daughter of Mr. A. Kalyanasundaram and Miss M. Subbulashmi, Mr. Rahul Raja S., son of Mr. P. Selvaraj and Miss C. Anushya.
I request the parents to be seated as the ceremony is not over yet. I request the graduates, the Department of CSE and IT to be seated, please.
Mr. C. Arulmozhi Varman, son of Mr. M. Sengutuvan and Miss S. C. Gomati. Miss R. Satya, daughter of Mr. C. Ramesh and Miss R. Karpagam. Mr. V. Ranjit, son of Mr. V. Ajiratinam and Miss V. Uma. Miss N. Sumanta, daughter of Mr. Nedunjelian C.R. and Miss N. Hemalata. Miss A. Hiranmai, daughter of Mr. A. Srinivasalu and Miss A. Bharati. Mr. J.P. Surya Prakash, son of Mr. K. Jayaprakash and Miss J.P. Vaijayantimala. Miss S. Priyanka, daughter of Mr. R. Srinivasan and Miss S. Sasikala. Mr. A. Riyasuddin, son of Mr. R. Abdullah and Miss A. Kairun Bibi. Mr. S. Hariharan, son of Mr. M. Subramanian and Miss S. Isaki Ammal. Mr. R. Sriram, son of Mr. Ranganathan R. and Miss Srimati R. Miss BPL Haridipika, daughter of Mr. Lakshmana Simha BP and Miss Samundishwari. Miss J. Soumya, daughter of Mr. J. Jayakumar and Miss Adila. Miss B. Kritika, daughter of Mr. N. Babu and Miss B. Umarani. Mr. R. Satish, son of Mr. S. Ravi and Mr. R. Kamakshi. Miss G. Vishnupriya, daughter of Mr. N. Gopalakrishnan and Miss G. Meghala. Mr. R. Giridharan, son of Mr. K. Ramu and Miss R. Kalpana. Darshini, daughter of Mr. H. Subramanian and Miss S. Kala. Miss S. Sambhavi, daughter of Dr. M. Shekhar and Miss P. Selvarani. Mr. V. Manoharan, son of Mr. K. Velayudam and Miss V. Ramajayam. Miss L. Ashwini, daughter of Mr. G. Lakshmanan and Miss R. Geeta. Miss B. Betty Veplin Raj, daughter of Mr. K. Babu Jairaj and Miss S. Mercy. Mr. A. Surya, son of Mr. G. Augustine and Miss A. Dhanam. Mr. M. Ramkumar, son of Mr. D. Muttanan and Miss M. Punnaivanam. Miss A. Vishnupriya, daughter of Mr. R. Anand and Miss A. Asha. Mr. S. Kabil, son of Mr. K. Shivakumar and Miss M. Kalayarasi. Miss R. Shilpa, daughter of Mr. M. Ramachandran and Miss R. Mageshwari. Mr. S. Guru Karthik, son of Mr. K. N. Sendil Kumar and Miss R. Ponmani. Mr. A. R. Ramanathan, son of Mr. R. M. Arunachalam and Miss S. Lakshmi. Mr. Agil D. George, son of Mr. D. George and Miss Valsa George. Miss M. Gauri, daughter of Mr. K. Manikam and Miss M. Silvi. Mr. Bharanidharan S., son of Mr. A. Sridharan and Miss Amudavalli. Mr. M. Mukesh Kumar, son of Mr. N. Muthukumaran and Miss M. Shyamala. Mr. A. Samson, son of Mr. D. Agilanandan and Miss Ann Sheila Vijaykumari. Miss K. Hemalata, daughter of Mr. R. Kanagaraju and Miss K. Devika. Mr. P. Sanjurajan, daughter of Mr. P. Rajan Matthew and Miss Susama Rajan. Mr. R. S. Ravichandran, son of Mr. R. Sadagopan and Miss S. Balambigai. Miss A. H. Muhammad Wasim, son of Mr. M. A. Abdul Hakim and Miss F. Rubaina Begum. Mr. A. Santosh Kumar, son of Mr. Anandan K and Miss Meena N. Mr. S. Hariharan, son of Mr. K. Shekhar and Miss S. Parameshwari. Mr. M. Rajashekar, son of Mr. Manikam V and Miss Shanti M. Mr. S. Siddharth, son of Mr. N. Satish Kumar and Miss S. Bindu. Mr. Mr. C.B. Niranjan, son of Mr. C.S. Balaji and Ms. Padmavati. Mr. V. Satish Kumar, son of Mr. V. Vayapuri and Ms. V. Manjula. Mr. D. Gautam, son of Mr. Dhanashekaran and Ms. Parvati. Ms. L. Ashik Ali, son of Ms. A. Latif and Ms. L. Kamal Radhapriya. Mr. P.V. Satyanarayanan, son of Mr. K. Venugopal and Ms. K.G. Sujata. Ms. S. Harshita, daughter of Mr. S. Shailendra Kumar and Ms. M.V. Malarvili. Mr. L. Venkatesh Prasad, son of Mr. N. Loganathan and Ms. Agilamani M. Mr. Muhammad Kamil, son of Mr. S. Abdul Wahab and Ms. A. Sabur Nisha Begum. Mr. M. Devaperumal, son of Mr. P. Murugeshan and Ms. M. Parvati.
I request the parents to be seated. I repeat, request the parents to be seated.
Mr. K. Arivalagan, son of Mr. K. Krishnamurthy and Ms. A. Jagata.
I request all the graduates to be seated in your places. The ceremony is not over yet. I kindly request all the graduates to be seated in your places. You can take your photos later.
Ms. V. Dhanalakshmi, daughter of Mr. E. Vijay Kumar and Ms. M. Maithili. Mr. A. Ariharan, son of Ms. A. Asaitambi S. and Ms. A. Sujata.
Graduates, please be seated. The ceremony is not complete without the oath-taking ceremony. Please avoid taking photos in that corner. Parents and graduates are requested to please be seated.
Mr. S. Vasant Kumar, son of Mr. L. Saravanan and Ms. S. Shankari. Mr. P.K. Ilanjarian, son of Mr. S. Karthigeyan and Ms. S. Padmavati. Mr. V. Hariharan, son of Mr. A. Vanjinathan and Mr. R.V. Tamilselvi. Mr. S.I. Jeppiaar David, son of Mr. A. Shobhitam and Ms. G. Lirin Florence. Mr. P. Vignesh, son of C. Prabhakaran and Ms. P. Radhika.
Subramanian and Miss P. Nagalakshmi. Mr. J. Praveen, son of Mr. A.R. Jayakumar and Miss Banubani. Mr. A.M. Akile, son of Mr. G. Madhivannan and Miss E. Amuda. Miss D. Shalini, daughter of Mr. Dhanashekaran and Miss D. Vijaya. Mr. S. Karthikeyan, son of Mr. Satyendran and Miss S. Padmavati. Mr. M. Naveen Kumar, son of Mr. M. Mani and Miss M. Selvi. Mr. J. Praveen, son of Mr. A.R. Jayakumar and Miss Banumati. Mr. A.M. Akile, son of Mr. G. Madhivannan and Miss E. Amuda. Mr. S. Karthikeyan, son of Mr. Satyendran and Miss S. Padmavati. Mr. S.I. Javed Paul David, son of Mr. A. Shobhitam and Miss G. Lirin Florence. Mr. M. Naveen Kumar, son of Mr. M. Mani and Miss M. Selvi. Mr. P. Vignesh, son of Mr. C. Prabhakaran and Miss P. Radhika. Thank you all.
Good evening, everyone. The following are the graduates from Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering. Ms. Lakshmi Subramaniam, daughter of A. Subramaniam, Mrs. S. Jayanti. Ms. Viveda, daughter of Mr. A. Rebi, Mrs. R. Bharati. Mr. Johnson, son of R. Paneer Selvam, Mrs. D. Flora. Mr. Ahmad Mohammed, son of Mr. Jinnah, Mrs. Maidin Patu. Ms. Kirtana, daughter of Mr. Aravindan B, Ms. R. Saraswati, Ms. Saumya M, daughter of Mr. A. Murali, Mrs. Shanti, Mr. Dinesh Kumar S, son of Mr. Saktivel and Mrs. Lakshmi, Mr. Peter Roy, son of Mr. John Dominic and Mrs. P. Elskan A. Mr. Arun B., son of Mr. G. Bhubadi and Krishna Veni. Mr. Mohammad Irfan C., son of Mr. Mohammad Idris C. and Mrs. Mahina Moser. Mr. Naveen Kumar V., son of Mr. Venkadeshan C. and Mrs. Yashoda. Mrs. Revati S., daughter of Mr. Surya Murthy and Mrs. Maria Pushpam. Ms. Sangeeta A., daughter of Mr. K. Andy and Mrs. Shasikala. Mrs. Radhika T., daughter of Mr. Tangavel A. and Mrs. Chinnakani. Mrs. Padmasri B., daughter of Mr. Babu and Mrs. Jnanamani. Ms. Ragini K., daughter of Mr. Kannan B. and Mrs. Chitra. Mr. Jairaj J., son of Mr. V. Jayaraman and Mrs. Sumati. Ms. Dharani K., daughter of Ms. Kalidasan and Mrs. Shanti. Mr. Shivabalan A., son of Annadurai and Mrs. Shiva Sangari. Mr. Raja Ram, son of Mr. Arunmugan G. and Mrs. Jayachitra. Mr. Nandakumar P., son of Mr. Padmanabhan M. and Ms. Somalata. Mr. Sanjeev S., son of Mr. Saravanan K. and Ms. Shubha S. Ms. Nancy Asmita, daughter of Mr. Paul Raj A. and Mrs. Arul Selvi. Mr. Bharat, son of Mr. Balachandran M. and Ms. B. Shanti. Mr. Nagar Subramani N., son of Mr. Nagarajan P. and Mrs. Akhila. Ms. Gayatri S., daughter of Mr. Sendil Vellan and Mrs. Uma. Mr. Roopnath, son of B. Anandan and Ms. Ramani. Mr. Kannan P., son of Mr. Purushothaman and Mrs. Shanti. Mr. Yuvraj K., son of Mr. Kumar P. and Mrs. Karpagam. Mr. Ilavarasan S., son of Mr. Shiva and Mrs. Jayanti. Mr. Lilith Kumar, son of Mr. Ramesh Kumar and Mrs. Shashikala. Mr. Praveen Khanna PJ, son of Perumal KP and Mrs. Jayanti. Mr. Pradesh A., son of Mr. Ashokan T. and Mrs. Girija A. Mr. Sanjay Kumar D., son of M. Devan and Mrs. Lakshmi. Mr. Naveen Kumar K., son of K. Kathumuthu and Mrs. Manjula. Mr. Logesh P., son of Paramaguru and Mrs. Uma Priya. Mr. Yuvraj K., son of Mr. Kumar P. and Mrs. Karpagam. Mr. Ilavasan S., son of Mr. Shiva and Mrs. Jayanti.
பட்டதாரி மாணவர்களுக்கு உறுதிமொழி எடுத்தாதான் உங்களுடைய பட்டமளிப்பு விழா வந்து நிறைவு பெறும். மாணவர்களுக்கு மறுபடியும் சொல்கிறோம், உறுதிமொழி எடுக்கணும். தயவு செய்து உங்களுடைய இடத்துக்கு நீங்கள் மறுபடியும் வந்து உட்காருங்க. பெற்றோர்களுக்கு அன்பான வேண்டுகோள், பெற்றோர்களின் கவனத்திற்கு தயவு செய்து உங்களுடைய பிள்ளைகளை அவங்களுடைய இருக்கைக்கு அனுப்புங்கள். நன்றி. பெற்றோர்களுக்கு தயவு செய்து மறுபடியும் சொல்கிறோம், பெற்றோர்கள் உங்களுடைய ஒத்துழைப்பு மிகவும் அவசியம். தங்களுடைய பிள்ளைகளை அவர்களுடைய இருக்கைக்கு தயவு செய்து அனுப்புங்கள். இசி மாணவர்கள், ஐடி மாணவர்கள் தயவு செய்து உங்களுடைய இடத்திற்கு மறுபடியும் வந்து அமருமாறு பணிவன்போடு கேட்டுக்கொள்கிறோம். உறுதிமொழி மிகவும் பட்டமளிப்பு விழாவில் மிக மிக முக்கியமானது உறுதிமொழி. அருள் கூர்ந்து தங்களுடைய இடத்திற்கு மறுபடியும் வரும். நன்றி.
Mr. Lilith Kumar, son of Ramesh Kumar and Mrs. Shashigala. Mr. Praveen Kanna PJ, son of Perumal KP and Mrs. Jayanti. Mr. Pradesh A., son of Mr. Ashokan T. and Mrs. Girija A. Mr. Santosh Kumar P., son of Mr. Prabhakaran. Logesh, Mr. Logesh P., son of Paramaguru P. and Mrs. Uma Priya. Kumar P. Thank you all and congratulations also graduates.
So Department of Mechanical Engineering, Mr. S. Sadish, son of Sangar, Miss Mauri Selvi. Mr. Meghanathan, son of Mr. Rajasamy and Miss Kalaivani. Mr. Sandoshivan, son of Mr. Murali and Miss Mangala. Mr. Igendran, son of Mr. Dayalan and Ms. Sasikala. Mr. Sarath, son of Mr. Sadasivam and Ms. Ramani. Mr. Palani, son of Mr. Ramu and Ms. Indra. Mr. Bijilin Roy, son of Mr. Crispian Roy and Ms. Mahil Seba. Mr. Damodaran, son of Mr. Ramachandran and Ms. Rajeshwari. Mr. Muthu, son of Mr. Arul Selvam and Ms. Rani. Mr. Aravind, Krishna, son of Mr. Krishnadas and Miss Leela Bai. Mr. Kobinath, son of Mr. Maganathan and Miss Rani. Mr. Niranjan Kumar, son of Mr. Saravanan and Miss Shanti. Mr. Veerasurya, son of Mr. Tangamani and Miss Hemalata. Mr. Saktivel, son of Mr. Marthanda Pillai and Miss Peruma Pillai. Mr. Solomon Vincent Raj, son of Einstein Suresh Raj and Miss Lydia Sheila Magadin. Mr. Loga Vignesh, son of Mr. Palanivel and Miss Rani. Mr. Deepak Raj, son of Mr. Venkataraman and Miss Bharati. Mr. Prasant, son of Mr. Kumar and Miss Kumuda. Mr. Sandosh, son of Mr. Ramesh and Miss Kalpana. Mr. Agin, son of Mr. Joseph and Miss Rosemary. Mr. Aravind, son of Subramanian and Miss Sivashankari. Mr. Rajesh Khanna, son of Mr. Rajendran and Miss Valarmadi. Mr. Arun, son of Mr. Durairajan and Miss Uma Maheshwari. Mr. Hari Vignesh, son of Mr. Nallakumar and Miss Neelambal. Mr. Dinesh, son of Mr. Periyasamy and Miss Kavita. Mr. Madheshwaran, son of Mr. Seduraman and Miss Dakshayini. Mr. Vishwesh, son of Mr. Sendil Kumar and Miss Annapurni. Mr. Aravind Venkatesh, son of Mr. Krishnamurthy and Miss Bharani. Mr. Abhinesh, son of Mr. Govindaraj and Miss Bhumadi. Mr. Dinesh Kumar, son of Mr. Kannan and Miss Vijayalakshmi. Mr. Kumar, son of Mr. Balachandran and Miss Kani. Mr. Karthik, son of Mr. Muthusamy and Miss Solayammal. Mr. Saravanan, son of Mr. Ganesan and Miss Janagi.
இசி டிபார்ட்மெண்ட் மாணவர்கள் தயவு செய்து உங்களுடைய இடத்துக்கு மறுபடியும் வருவோம். இன்னும் சிறிது நேரத்தில் உறுதிமொழி எடுக்கப் போகிறீர்கள். ஸோ தயவு செய்து இசி மாணவர்கள் உங்களுடைய இடத்துக்கு மறுபடியும் வாங்க ப்ளீஸ்.
Mr. Venkatesh, son of Mr. Armugam Pillai and Miss Vanaja. Mr. Rakshit Jesso, son of Mr. Dharmaraj and Miss Christy Janak Boy. Mr. Uday Shankar, son of Mr. Venkateshwaran and Miss Roja Rani. Mr. Beniel, son of Mr. Chinnadurai and Miss Paul Tangam. Mr. Sarveshwaran, son of Mr. Jayamurugan and Miss Sasikala. Mr. Venkatakrishnan, son of Mr. Ramanan and Miss Meenakshi. Mr. Rajkumar, son of Mr. Srinivasalu and Miss Prabhavati. Mr. Subhash, son of Mr. Subramanian and Miss Selvarani. Mr. Vijay, son of Mr. Shanmugavel and Miss Muthulakshmi. Mr. Wasim Akram, son of Mr. Mohammad Umar and Miss Sajida Begum. Mr. Lourdes Anthony, son of Mr. Arokya Das and Miss Shauri Lu. Mr. Surya Narayanan, son of Mr. Padmanabhan and Miss Shanti. Mr. Rajaganesh, son of Mr. Muniyan and Miss Sugandhi. Mr. Abhishek, son of Mr. Wilson and Miss Usha. Mr. Vignesh, son of Mr. Dilip Kumar and Miss Premalada. Mr. Vimal, son of Mr. Dilip Kumar and Miss Premalada. Mr. Sundara Pandian, son of Mr. Parithiruman and Miss Kalarmadi. Mr. Subil, son of Mr. Swamidas and Miss Agila. Mr. Jeppiaar, son of Mr. Pushparaj Joseph and Miss Judith Mary. Mr. Anurag Kumar, son of Mr. Jagadish Jaswal and Miss Geeta Jaswal. Mr. Gautam, son of Mr. Tangavel and Miss Lakshmi. Mr. Rishi Karthik, and son of Mr. Bhaskar and Miss Chitra. Mr. Karthik N, son of Mr. Neelagandan and Miss Punita. Mr. Jayamurugan, son of Mr. Vijay Kumar and Miss Kavita. Mr. Tamilarasan, son of Mr. Jeevanandam and Miss Sumadi. Mr. Manoj Kumar, son of Mr. Umabadi and Miss Jayarani. Mr. Janarthanan, son of Mr. Kumarasamy and Miss Gajalakshmi. Mr. Sanjay Kumar, son of Mr. Sadish Kumar and Miss Bharati. Mr. Akish Raj, son of Mr. Rajkumar and Miss Mary Sujarani. Mr. Stephen, son of Mr. Michael Nayagam and Ms. Selvarani. Mr. Rupesh Kumar, son of Mr. Uday Kumar and Ms. Kavita. Mr. Ajay Kumar, son of Mr. Selvaraj and Ms. Kalyani. Mr. Ajay Daniel, son of Mr. Jasdas and Ms. Vimala. Thank you.
So thank you, graduates, and thank you, sir and ma'am. Now I request our chief guest, Mr. Krishnan Ananda Narayanan, Chief Finance Officer, Vice President, Managing ATOS Global Delivery Centers, to take the oath. Graduates, kindly stand and take the oath along with our chief guest. Please, sir. I request the graduates to kindly stand up.
Okay. We shall in thought, word and deed ever endeavor to be meticulously honest in the discharge of our duties in our profession, and shall uphold the dignity and integrity of our profession and the honor of our university. We shall uphold and advance social order and well-being of our fellow members, and shall devote all our energy to promote unity, integrity, and secular ideal of our country. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I request our trustee, Dr. N. Marie Claude, Jeppiaar Remibai Educational Trust, to give his vote of thanks. Please, sir.
First and foremost, my sincere and humble thanks to the Lord Almighty for making this graduation day 2021 a memorable one. On behalf of Remibai Jeppiaar Educational Trust, I would like to say my heartfelt thanks to the most respected chief guest of this evening, Mr. Krishnan Ananda Narayanan, and his better half for gracing this occasion and making it a most memorable event in JIT. My extended thanks goes to the principal, HODs, staffs, both teaching and non-teaching, technical staffs, for gracing this occasion. My many thanks to the young graduates, and I wish them all the best and ever be grateful to the Lord Almighty. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I request the graduates to be seated, please. I kindly request all the graduates to be seated, please. Now I request our principal ma'am, Dr. Ella Merling Livingston, to conclude the 5th graduation ceremony. Please, ma'am.
the graduation ceremony for the class 2016-2020 ends. Thank you.
Now I request the graduates to share their feedback. Now I request Manush from CSE department to share his feedback, please. Manush from CSE department.
Okay, ஒரு சிறிய ஒரு ஆஃபர் இன்னைக்கு இல்லையா? We have the 5th graduation. You want offer or what? You want offer? Yes, okay. So now, since being the 5th graduation, and this year being the first, we have introduced MBA in our campus. And I just discussed with our managing director and come forward to offer 5 MBA seats for those students who enroll today or by Monday or by Tuesday. Is it enough? Okay, only with that only we can give. Okay, so if we enroll today, there is a very good offer of scholarship awaiting for you. If we enroll today, MBA in our campus, and there is a very good scholarship awaiting for you, the best scholarship. Okay, and you also take it maybe Monday if you need time. You take it Monday or Tuesday, and by that the offer ends. Okay, the offer ends. So 3 days of time. If you do it today, you have a great future for MBA with very good specializations. You have 7 different specializations as well as a few more foreign, international, valid courses introduced in our MBA courses. So this is an offer. And one request I have with you. One request. Will you able to fulfill? முக்கியமா என் நண்பர்கள் மெக்கானிக்கல் fulfill பண்ணுவீங்களா? ஒரு ரெக்வெஸ்ட் இன்னைக்கு ஒரு 24 hours இந்த கேம்பஸ்ல நீங்க வளர்ந்துருக்கீங்க, இந்த கேம்பஸ்ல நீங்க வாழ்ந்திருக்கீங்க, இந்த கேம்பஸ்ல நீங்க அழுதுருக்கீங்க, இந்த கேம்பஸ்ல நீங்க சாப்பிட்டு இருக்கீங்க, இந்த கேம்பஸ்ல நிறைய என்ஜாய்மெண்ட் இல்லையா, நிறைய ஃபெசிலிட்டிஸ். ஒரு நாள் Jeppiaar Institute of Technology இந்த பேர் அல்லது இந்த எம்பலத்தை you have to keep it as a status for one day. Will all of you agree? Will all of you agree? So I thank Jeppiaar Institute of Technology அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு ஒரு நாள் முழுக்க இந்த ஸ்டேட்டஸை நம்முடைய மாணவர்கள் வைக்கணுன்றது தான் என்னுடைய ஆசை, என்னுடைய ரெக்வெஸ்ட். I think that is going to make a big difference between other colleges and our college. It's going to become the Chennai talk. It's going to become a Tamil Nadu talk. யாராவது திடீர்னு ஒரு 300 பசங்க இப்படி ஒரு டிபி வச்சிருக்காங்க, என்ன இன்டெலிஜென்ஸ் பீரோலாம் யோசிப்பாங்க, எதுக்காக இது வைக்கிறாங்க, என்ன இன்ட்ரோடியூஸ் பண்ண போறாங்க, என்ன செய்ய போறாங்க. So that is something to that you can do for your college, the best thing that you can do for your college. Okay, shall we? If you are okay, then show the thumbs up. Shall we? அந்த பின்னாடி ஒன்றும் வரலையே. Okay, this side. Okay, status for 24 hours. Time starts now. The time starts now. So we can keep the status 24 hours and dedicate to JIT, our director, Mr. Murray Wilson. And there is an offer for 5 MBA seats. You can enroll. The enrollment starts immediately after the graduation ceremony gets over. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you, sir. I request Mr. Manush from CSE department to share his feedback, please. Mr. Manush. Okay, I request Ms. Rachel from Information Technology to share her feedback. Ms. Rachel from Information Technology to share her feedback, please.
A very good evening to all gathered here. Yeah, thank you, sir. So how many of you here are happy today? Nobody? Can I hear a response? How many of you are happy here today? Okay, I know you're all tired, but I am immensely pleasured to be here. You know why? Because the first day I came to this college, I came crying because I didn't want to leave my parents. I didn't want to leave that comfort in my family. But here, after doing my 4 years, my life towards the society totally changed. Be it in taking decisions, or be it in anything, I am really proud to be a graduate now, especially from this institution. I am so happy and proud to be called a JITN. Why? Because of the special motto this institution has. I didn't have self-belief. I didn't have self-discipline. So after coming here, I believed in myself because 10th, 12th, I was not able to study on my own. So my mom said, don't ask us to pay again for your tuition when you join engineering. But this college really nurtured us in such a way that we can come out as a good engineer. Not only a good engineer, it's also coupled with social ethics. So I'm so happy to be here standing. I would like to thank God first for showing me this college. I am so happy to thank our director, sir, Dr. N. Murray Wilson. I'm so happy to thank my staff members, especially Sonia ma'am, for having given me the courage to stand here, hold this mic. Amidst all my tough times here in this college, the crowd and the podium always made me happy. So, love you all, wish you all a good success in life. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Rachel. Now I call upon Mr. Vignesh from Information Technology to share his feedback. Vignesh from Information Technology.
So, sorry.
I request Ms. Priyadashini and Madhumita from EC department to be ready for your feedback.
ஸோ மற்றவங்கள மாதிரி இனிமேல் நம்ம வந்து ஐடி கிடையாது, இசிஇ கிடையாது, ட்ரிபிள் கிடையாது, மெக் கிடையாது. எல்லாருமே 2016, 2020 பேட்சோட டிகிரி ஹோல்டர்ஸ். ஸோ இந்த காலேஜ்லேருந்து நம்ம கிடச்சிருக்கிறது ஐ திங்க் தட்ஸ் மோர் தேன் வாட் வி கேன் எக்ஸ்பெக்ட். ஸோ இந்த காலேஜில் நான் உள்ளே வரும்போது எனக்கு சொன்ன முக்கியமான ஒரு வார்த்தை வந்து ஜேபிஆரோட ஒரு மோட்டோ சொன்னாங்க. தம்பி, என்ட்ரி முக்கியம் இல்லை, வெளியில் போகும்போது எப்படி மாசாக போகிறோன்றது தான் முக்கியம் அப்படின்ட்டு. ஸோ அது இந்த இடத்துல எனக்கு வந்து கரெக்டாக கிடச்சிருக்குன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். ஸோ நான் உள்ளே வரும்போது இஃப் யூ ஆஸ்க் மீ வாட் இஸ் மை 12th மார்க், ஏதாச்சும் கெஸ்ஸஸ் இருக்கா? எனி கெஸ்ஸஸ் டுடே? மை 12th மார்க் would be. So, do you guys think what my 12th mark would be? நான் இன்னைக்கு அவார்ட்லாம் வாங்கினேன்ப்பா. இல்லை, நான் பேசுகிறது கேட்குறது இல்லையா? ஸோ என்னோட 12th மார்க் என்ன இருக்கும்னு யாருக்காச்சும் ஏதாச்சும் ஒரு எக்ஸ்பெக்டேஷன் ஆர் இன்றைக்கி நான் அவார்ட்லாம் வாங்கினதை வச்சு ஏதாச்சும் தோணியிருக்கா? என்னோடய மார்க் வெறும் 848 தான். ஐ காட் ஜஸ்ட் பாஸ்ட் இன் 12th. பட் இங்கே வந்ததுக்கப்புறம் தான் நல்ல மாட்டுக்கு ஒரு சூடுன்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. அதுக்கப்புறம் தான் எனக்கு உரைச்சிச்சு, நம்ம படித்தா மட்டும் போதாது, படிக்கிறதோட சேர்த்து சில விஷயங்களும் செஞ்சிடறதுனால நம்ம பேர் கடைசி வரைக்கும் இருக்குன்ட்டு. ஸோ அந்த செல்ஃப் பிலீஃப், செல்ஃப் டிசிப்ளின், செல்ஃப் ரெஸ்பெக்ட் அது கரெக்டாக எனக்கு கற்றுக் கொடுத்துட்டாங்கன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். நம்ம எல்லாருக்கும் கற்றுக் கொடுத்துருக்காங்கன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். அந்த இந்த வகையில் எனக்கு காலேஜ் வந்து எனக்கு ரொம்ப ஹெல்ப் பண்ணியிருக்கு. அண்ட் ஸோ ஆல் அலாங் காலேஜ் மட்டும் இல்லை, ஐ காட் அ குட் கான்டாக்ட் ஃப்ரம் தி இண்டஸ்ட்ரி. சே லைக் எனக்கு வந்து ஃப்ரம் அட்டாஸ் ஸ்ரீராம் team gave me a good opportunity to be an intern with them. ஸோ இந்த கொரோனானால அந்த இன்டர்ன்ஷிப்பும் டிலே ஆகிடுச்சு. பட் அட் த சேம் டைம் நான் ஹோப் இல்லை, இன்றைக்கி வரைக்கும் ஸ்ரீராம் என்னை வந்து பத்திரமா பார்த்துட்ருக்காரு. ஸோ அதுவும் இந்த காலேஜில் இருந்தால் எனக்கு கிடச்சிச்சு. அண்ட் ஒன் மோர் திங், இந்த இன்டர்ன்ஷிப் பீரியடில் எனக்கு வந்துட்டு ஃபுல் சப்போர்ட்டாக இருந்தது வந்துட்டு என்னோடய ஃபேமிலி ப்ளஸ் என் ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ் 15 பேர். ஒரு ரூமில் 20 பேர் இருப்போம். இது வரைக்கும் எனக்கு வந்து நீ சாப்பிட்டியாடா, எப்படா பஸ்ஸில் போயிட்டு வர, எல்லாமே என் ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ் தான் பார்த்துக்கிட்டாங்க. நான் இன்றைக்கி என் ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸுக்கு தேங்க் பண்ணணும்னு நினைக்கிறேன். தேங்க்யூ ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ். ஆனால் 15 பேர் ரூமில் இருக்க யாருமே இங்கே இல்லை, எல்லாம் ஃபோட்டோ எடுக்க வெளில போயிட்டாங்க. ஸோ யா, எங்கே இருந்தாலும் அவங்க தேங்க்ஸ். அண்ட் ஒன் மோர் திங், நான் இங்கே ஒருத்தவங்களோட பேர் மென்ஷன் பண்ண விரும்பலை, பட் அந்த ஃபேக்கல்ட்டி எனக்கு பண்ண ஒரு ஹெல்ப்னால தான் என்னோட செகண்ட் இயர்லேருந்து என்னோட கரியர் டெவலப்மெண்ட்டே சேஞ்ச் ஆச்சு. ஷி பாட் மீ அண்ட் லேப்டாப், அண்ட் வித் தட் லேப்டாப் டுடே வாட் whoever I am is all because from that point. செகண்ட் இயர்லேருந்து என்னோட லைஃப் கம்ப்ளீட்டாக சேஞ்ச் ஆச்சு. அண்ட் அந்த சேஞ்சுக்காக எனக்கு ஹெல்ப் பண்ணது இங்கே இருக்க ஒரு ஃபேக்கல்ட்டி தான். ஐ டோன்ட் வாண்ட் டு மென்ஷன் த நேம். ஸோ யா, திஸ் இஸ் ஆல் த காலேஜ் கேவ் மீ, அண்ட் இதுக்கப்புறமும் தருவாங்க அப்படின்றது நான் நம்புகிறேன். கண்டிப்பாக சார் பண்ணுவார்னு நினைக்கிறேன் நான். தேங்க்யூ ஸோ மச் சார். ஸோ தேங்க்யூ ஆல்.
Thank you, Vignesh, for your valuable feedback. Now I request Ms. Madhumita from EC department to share her feedback.
எல்லாருக்கும் குட் ஈவினிங். நான் உங்கள் மச் ஆஃப் த டைம் எடுத்துக்க மாட்டேன், நான் வந்து சிம்பிளாக முடிச்சிடுறேன். நான் இந்த காலேஜுக்கு வந்து ஐ கேம் த்ரூ ஸ்போர்ட்ஸ் கோட்டா. ஐ வாஸ் அ நேஷ்னல் பேட்மிண்டன் பிளேயர். ஆனால் இந்த காலேஜ் வந்ததுக்கப்புறம் கொஞ்சம் கொஞ்சமாக வந்து நான் ஸ்டடீஸில் வந்து ஐ காட் ஈக்குவலி இன்ட்ரெஸ்டட். இட்ஸ் ஒன்லி பிகாஸ் ஆஃப் ஆர் ஸ்டாஃப்ஸ். நம்ம ஸ்டாஃப்ஸ் வந்து ரொம்ப என்கரேஜ் பண்ணாங்க என்ன. நான் எவ்வளோ தான் ஸ்போர்ட்ஸில் இருந்தாலும், நான் வந்து கிளாஸ்க்கு போயிட்டு லேட்டாக வந்தாலும் நெக்ஸ்ட் டே வந்து நான் செமினார்ஸ் கொடுக்கறது நிறைய இதில் வந்து என்னை வந்து என்கரேஜ் பண்ணாங்க ஸ்டாஃப்ஸு. அவங்களால மட்டும்தான் வந்து என்னால் கொஞ்சம் இன்னும் வந்து பெட்டராக படிக்க முடிஞ்சுது. ஃபஸ்ட்டு வந்து நான் ஓரளவுக்கு படிச்சுட்டு இருந்தேன், பட் ஒரு செமஸ்டர் போக போக ஐ கெட் கான்ஃபிடென்ட் இன் மை செல்ஃப். ஸோ தட் வாட் ஹேப்பன்ட் இஸ் I believed in myself. That determination and consistency made me to perform better. ஒரு பாயிண்ட் ஆஃப் டைமில் வந்து 5th செமஸ்டர்லாம் வந்து ஐ வாஸ் ஃபுல்லி இன் டூ ஸ்போர்ட்ஸ். அப்போ வந்து எனக்கு படிக்கவே டைமே இல்லை. பட் ஸ்டாஃப்ஸ் வந்து நம்ம பிரின்சிபல் மேம் நிறைய பேர் வந்து ரொம்ப என்கரேஜ் பண்ணாங்க. அந்த டைமில் வந்து எப்படியும் நான் வந்து சரி ஓகே நம்ம டிஎஸ்பி, நாங்கள் எல்லாருக்கும் தெரியும் டிஎஸ்பி எப்படி எப்பட்ட சப்ஜெக்ட் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு, நான்லாம் வந்து வெளில வந்து அவ்வளோ அழுது இருக்கேன், டிஎஸ்பி ஒழுங்காக பண்ணல ஃபெயில் ஆகிடுவேன் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு. அப்போ பட் பை காட்ஸ் கிரேஸ் எனக்கு வந்து அந்த செமஸ்டர் வந்து ஐ காட் 10 GPA. எல்லா சப்ஜெக்ட்லையும் எனக்கு எஸ் கிரேட் கிடச்சிது. அப்போ தான் நான் நினச்சேன் ஓகே நம்ம வந்து நெக்ஸ்ட் இதுக்கு ஏம் பண்ண முடியும், ஒரு யூனிவர்சிட்டி ரேங்க் ஏம் பண்ணலாம் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு. அப்போ அந்த டைமில் வந்து நான் டைரக்டர் சாரை மீட் பண்ணேன். அப்போது என்னாச்சுன்னா அவர் வந்து என்கிட்ட சொன்னார், நீ என்ன இதில்மா ஐ மீன் நீ வந்து ஸ்போர்ட்ஸில் இன்ட்ரெஸ்டடாக இருக்கியான்னு கேட்டார். நீ பேட்மிண்டன் பிளேயர்னு எனக்கு தெரியும், நீ வந்து ஈக்குவலாக வந்து ரெண்டுத்துலையுமே வந்து கான்சென்ட்ரேட் பண்ணணும், ஸ்போர்ட்ஸ்லேயும் சரி பேட்மிண்டனும் சரி ஈக்குவலாக இருக்கணும். ஸ்போர்ட்ஸில் மட்டும் இருக்காது கூடாது, ஸ்டடீஸ்லேயும் இருக்கணும். அதே மாதிரி ஸ்டடீஸில் ஓவராக கான்சென்ட்ரேட் பண்ணி ஸ்போர்ட்ஸ்லையும் ரெண்டுத்தையும் பேலன்ஸ் பண்ணணும், ஒரு மல்டி டைமென்ஷனல் பிளேயராக நீ இருக்கணும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி சார் என்கரேஜ் பண்ணார். அந்த மூலயமா வந்து இப்போ நிறைய சார் வந்து சொன்னதுனால நான் வந்து ஒரு சரி யூனிவர்சிட்டி ரேங்க்குக்கு ஏம் பண்ணலாம்னு சொல்லிட்டு அப்படி படிக்க ஆரம்பித்து வந்து 6th செமஸ்டரில் ஐ காட் அன் ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டி டு விசிட் சிங்கப்பூர் அஸ் அ பார்ட் ஆஃப் இமர்ஷன் ப்ரோக்ராம். ஒரு 15 மெம்பர்ஸ் நாங்கள் போயிருந்தோம். அது வந்து இட் வாஸ் அன் அமேசிங் லேர்னிங் எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் ஃபார் மீ. நிறைய வந்து அங்கே எனக்கு தெரிய வந்துச்சு. ஒரு 1 வீக் தான், இட் இஸ் அ ஷார்ட் பீரியட் ஆஃப் டைம், பட் அங்கே வந்து நாங்கள் நிறைய கற்றுக்கிட்டோம். வந்து காலேஜஸ்க்கு போய் அங்கே வந்து எப்படி வந்து அங்கே இருக்கிற கல்ச்சர் என்ன அப்படின்னா சார் சொல்லியிருப்பாரு, நம்ம வந்து டிஃப்ரெண்ட் கல்ச்சர் எக்ஸ்ப்ளோர் பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு. அது இனிஷியேட் பண்ணதே நம்ம சார் தான். இந்த மாதிரி ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸை வந்து ஒரு இமர்ஷன் ப்ரோக்ராம், ஒரு டிஃப்ரெண்ட் கண்ட்ரிக்கு வந்து கூட்டிகிட்டு போய் வந்து எக்ஸ்ப்ளோர் பண்ண வைக்கணும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு சார் தான் பண்ணார். தேங்க்யூ சார் ஃபார் தேட். அதே மாதிரி வந்து ஐ லைக் டு தேங்க் எவ்ரி டீச்சர்ஸ் ஆர் டிபார்ட்மெண்ட் ஸ்டாஃப்ஸ், எவ்ரி ஒன் who supported me, encouraged me and believed in me that I could aim for a higher score. At the same time, I'd like to thank my parents. They are in the audience. They are sitting there. I like to thank them. Because of them only I'm standing here. Without them, it would not be possible. Thank you all. Thank you, my parents, for that. And last but not the least, I thank my all friends sitting there. I thank everyone who encouraged me. Daily they would tell me that you can read, when you can study, you can perform better. Because of them only I am standing here. I am giving a special thanks to each and everyone there. So I am concluding with that. Thank you.
Thank you, Madhumita, for your wonderful feedback. And I request Viveda from Tipli department to share her feedback, please. Viveda from Tipli department. Now I request Solomon from Mechanical Department to share his feedback. I request Mr. Solomon from Mechanical Department to share his feedback.
Hi everyone. Thank you. Thank you so much for your warm welcome. First of all, I would like to